Power is not loud. The most dangerous people are often the calmest ones in the room. Welcome back to the Sigma Lady. If you're here, you're not the type to blend in. You don't live for attention and you don't need approval to feel valid. You're quiet but aware, strong, yet often underestimated. You are a Sigma female, or you're becoming one. Here, we talk about what makes you powerful in ways that the world doesn't always recognize or understand. And that's exactly what today's video is about. This is 12 ways Sigma females show that they're dangerous. Let's begin with the first sign. 1. She is calm where others panic. In high-pressure situations, most people crumble. They either explode in anger, freeze in fear, or make impulsive choices just to feel like they're doing something, but a Sigma female operates on a different level entirely. When things go wrong, she doesn't freak out. She doesn't jump to conclusions or follow the emotional chaos of the crowd. Instead, she pauses, she watches, she listens, and then she acts with intention. This ability to remain calm under pressure isn't just a personality trait, it's a strategic advantage. Why? Because in any crisis, emotional or practical, the person who can think clearly holds the real power. Her calmness is unsettling to people used to controlling others through emotional escalation. It confuses manipulators who expect her to react, defend herself, or fall apart. But instead, she stays grounded. She may take a step back to analyze the situation. She may say nothing at all while everyone else is yelling. And when she finally does speak, people listen. Because they know she's not reacting, she's responding. That's dangerous. Because calm people are unpredictable. They're not being driven by ego or fear. They're watching, planning, and preparing. A Sigma female's calm presence often gives the false impression that she's not affected. But make no mistake, she feels everything. She's just not showing her hand. And in a world where everyone is broadcasting their every emotion online, the woman who keeps hers to herself, she holds power. She may not be the loudest voice in the room, but she's the one who'll still be standing when the noise dies down. 2. She walks away without explaining herself. There's something deeply powerful and unsettling about a woman who can walk away without making a scene. Most people need to be understood. They explain themselves, justify their boundaries, or try to make sure no one sees them as mean for stepping away. But not the Sigma female. When a person, a job, a friendship, or even a family member crosses her line, she simply steps away. No drama, no warning, no monologue. She doesn't feel the need to prove she's right. She doesn't need you to agree with her reasons. She just leaves. And this drives people crazy. Why? Because when you walk away without explanation, you deny people control. You refuse to feed their ego with your pain. You don't give them the satisfaction of knowing they got to you. You reclaim your power with silence. Some will call you cold. Others will accuse you of being heartless or detached. But the truth is, you're just clear. Clear on what you tolerate. Clear on what you deserve. And most of all, clear on when something is no longer worth your time. You understand that some people aren't ready for growth. Some environments aren't healthy, no matter how hard you try. And some conversations are just traps designed to pull you back into cycles you've already outgrown. The Sigma female doesn't try to fix everything. She knows when her presence is being wasted, and she withdraws it. That withdrawal, it's one of the most powerful, dangerous moves you can make, because nothing scares insecure people more than realizing they no longer have access to your energy. And that's exactly what makes a Sigma female unforgettable. She doesn't slam doors, she simply disappears. And when people finally notice her absence, it's already too late. 3. She is comfortable being alone. In a world that constantly pushes people to stay connected, being comfortable alone is almost seen as suspicious. But for a Sigma female, solitude isn't scary, it's sacred. She doesn't avoid people out of fear. She simply doesn't need them to feel whole. There's a big difference. While others use noise and company to escape themselves, the Sigma woman goes inward. She reflects, she questions, she rebuilds herself in private. This makes her incredibly dangerous to those who rely on codependency as control. Why? Because the person who is not afraid to be alone is the person you can't manipulate with loneliness. You can't threaten her with silence. You can't punish her by leaving. She's already comfortable in her own space, mentally, emotionally, and physically. She chooses company based on alignment, not desperation. She doesn't say yes just because she's afraid of being alone on a Friday night. She doesn't keep toxic friendships just to avoid awkward dinners by herself. And she definitely doesn't chase romantic attention just to feel validated. This kind of self-sufficiency is rare, and it intimidates people who've never taken the time to get to know themselves. To many, it looks like she's distant, guarded, or too independent. But in reality, she's just not easily influenced. She spent time alone. She knows what peace feels like. So she won't trade that peace for shallow conversations, forced smiles, or surface-level approval. This is why her standards are high. Not in an arrogant way, but in a conscious one. She's already at peace. So if you're going to enter her world, you better not bring chaos with you. And here's what makes her especially dangerous. She doesn't view solitude as a punishment. She sees it as a reset. So when things go wrong in her life, she doesn't rush into the arms of the nearest distraction. She gets quiet. She retreats, and she works on herself, alone. Then, when she returns, she's stronger than before, more focused, more unshakable. That's the power of a woman who is not afraid to face herself. And that's what makes the Sigma female untouchable. 4. She observes more than she speaks. Most people talk to fill space, to be seen, to feel important. But a Sigma female doesn't need to do that. She understands the real power isn't in speaking, it's in observing. While others are revealing themselves through oversharing, rambling, or trying to impress, the Sigma female is silent and watching. She's reading the room, noticing body language, picking up on contradictions between words and actions, tracking patterns others overlook. People often underestimate her in the beginning. They think she's shy, reserved, or maybe even boring. What they don't realize is she already knows more about them than they know about her, and that makes her dangerous, because knowledge is power, and by saying less, she learns more. She doesn't interrupt, she doesn't overshare. She lets others talk, and in doing so, they reveal everything. She's not judging, but she is noticing. The way someone treats the waiter, the way someone changes their tone when the boss walks in, the way someone gossips about their friends when they're not around. Every interaction is data, and she stores it quietly. This gives her a kind of psychological edge. In conflict, she doesn't lash out. She brings up exact quotes, timelines and behaviors, things others forgot they even said or did. People get nervous when they realize how much she noticed, because now they understand she's not passive, she's strategic, and that's what sets her apart. She's not here to dominate conversations, she's here to understand them deeply. By the time she speaks, she's already 10 steps ahead. And once someone underestimates her, they usually don't get a second chance. 5. She does not seek approval. One of the clearest signs that a Sigma female is dangerous is her complete lack of need for approval. She doesn't live her life trying to be liked. She doesn't shape her personality to fit into rooms where she doesn't belong. And she definitely doesn't shrink herself to make others comfortable. From a young age, most people are trained to seek validation, likes, praise, acceptance. But the Sigma female breaks away from this conditioning. Her sense of worth comes from within, from self-respect, from knowing who she is and what she stands for. This independence is deeply unsettling to people who rely on social approval as currency. They can't control her with compliments. They can't silence her with criticism. They can't shame her into obedience. She listens to feedback, but she doesn't depend on it. She considers opinions, but she doesn't let them define her. And because of that, she moves differently. She wears what she likes. She chooses paths others don't understand. She makes decisions that don't make sense to people who live for external validation. This freedom is dangerous, because when a woman doesn't need approval, she becomes immune to manipulation. She can't be gaslit into doubting herself easily. She doesn't stay where she's not respected just to avoid judgment. She would rather be misunderstood than betray herself. And that kind of self-loyalty? It's rare, it's powerful, and it makes her unstoppable. 6. She sets boundaries without guilt. A Sigma female understands something many people never learn. Boundaries are not cruel, they're necessary. She doesn't over-explain her limits. She doesn't apologize for protecting her time, energy, or mental health. And she doesn't feel guilty for saying no. This is one of the most dangerous traits she has. Because boundaries expose people. Anyone who benefits from your lack of boundaries will react negatively when you finally set them. And the Sigma female is fully aware of this. She doesn't argue when someone crosses her line. She doesn't beg for respect. She simply adjusts access. Less availability, less emotional investment, less presence. She understands that access to her is earned, not guaranteed. This makes her intimidating to people who are used to overstepping others. They're not used to women who calmly say, "This doesn't work for me," and mean it. She doesn't raise her voice. She doesn't threaten. She just enforces, and that quiet enforcement is powerful. Because once someone realizes they can't push her, they either respect her or remove themselves. Either way, she wins. 7. She can be kind without being naive. A Sigma female is not cold-hearted. She is capable of deep kindness, empathy, and understanding. But she is not naive. She knows the difference between someone who needs help and someone who needs control. She can sense when kindness is being exploited. And when she sees manipulation, she doesn't confront it emotionally. She withdraws. Her kindness has boundaries. She listens, but she doesn't absorb other people's chaos. She supports, but she doesn't sacrifice herself. She cares, but she doesn't rescue. This balance is dangerous, because people often expect kindness to come with weakness. They expect empathy to mean access. But with her, that's not the case. Once someone shows disrespect, dishonesty, or entitlement, her energy changes. Not dramatically, not loudly, but permanently. She doesn't announce the shift. She just becomes unavailable. And that's when people realize her kindness was a choice, not an obligation. She was never weak. She was simply discerning. 8. She doesn't reveal her next move. The Sigma female is strategic with her silence. She doesn't announce her goals to feel important. She doesn't share plans prematurely, and she doesn't explain what she's building behind the scenes. She understands that not everyone wants to see her succeed. Some people listen only to doubt. Others listen to sabotage. So she keeps her next move private. This makes her dangerous because unpredictability is power. People can't interfere with what they don't know. They can't discourage what hasn't been revealed. They can't compete with something they didn't see coming. She lets people assume. She lets them underestimate. And then she moves, quietly and decisively. When results appear, there are no explanations. No long stories, just outcomes. And by the time others understand what she's done, she's already moved on to the next level. 9. She is emotionally self-reliant. The Sigma female doesn't rely on others to regulate her emotions. She doesn't look for someone to fix her when she's upset. She doesn't seek out attention just to feel better for a few minutes. And she definitely doesn't fall apart in the hope that someone else will hold her together. That doesn't mean she's emotionless. Far from it. She feels things deeply. But instead of dumping those emotions on everyone around her, she processes them privately. She might journal, she might go for a walk, she might disappear for a few days to reset, but she doesn't broadcast every wave of emotion. She doesn't expect others to carry what is hers to manage. This makes her emotionally dangerous in the best way, because people can't use her feelings against her. Manipulators thrive on emotional dependency. They love people who are reactive, needy, or easily triggered. But the Sigma female doesn't give them that. She remains calm, grounded, detached from drama, and when someone tries to provoke her emotionally, she doesn't bite. She either disengages or responds with clarity, not chaos. This level of emotional self-control isn't something she was born with. She developed it through betrayal, through heartbreak, through experience. She's been through enough to know that emotional strength isn't about ignoring pain. It's about not letting it control you. So while others are still reacting, chasing closure or creating drama, she's already moved on, stronger and clearer than before. 10. She learns from everything. A Sigma female doesn't repeat lessons. When something painful happens, she sits with it. She asks why it happened, what role she played, and what she's meant to take from it. This is rare. Most people experience things, get hurt, and move on without ever understanding what happened, which is why they keep running into the same patterns. But the Sigma woman pays attention. Every failure sharpens her. Every disappointment teaches her. Every toxic relationship reveals something she missed before. This mindset makes her extremely dangerous because she doesn't stay vulnerable for long. She doesn't repeat mistakes out of habit. And she doesn't stay stuck in victimhood. She adjusts quickly. If someone shows her who they are, she doesn't try to rewrite the story. She rewrites her boundaries. If she fails at something, she doesn't use it as proof she's not good enough. She uses it as data and changes her strategy. This ability to evolve quickly makes her someone others can't keep up with. She's not stuck in the past. She's not waiting for permission to grow. She's always moving, smarter every time. 11. She does not compete. She chooses Sigma. Females don't operate in competition mode. They don't compare their lives to others on social media. They don't obsess over who's prettier, smarter, more successful. And they don't chase validation by winning over other women. That's because they're not in the game to begin with. They've opted out of the social ladder. They don't need to prove their worth. They already know it. This is what makes them dangerous. When you're not competing, you're unpredictable. You make choices that confuse people who think life is a race. A Sigma woman will leave a high-status man if the connection is empty. She'll walk away from a job that pays well if it drains her soul. She chooses peace over prestige, purpose over popularity. And that confuses people who think power is only about dominance. The Sigma female doesn't want to beat others. She wants to be herself, fully, freely, and on her own terms. That mindset removes her from petty rivalries. She's not looking at anyone else's path. She's walking her own. 12. She is unbothered by misunderstanding. Possibly the most dangerous trait of all. The Sigma female does not need to be understood. She doesn't chase after people trying to correct their opinions of her. She doesn't explain her silence. She doesn't clarify her boundaries for people who've already disrespected them. She knows that many people won't get her. Her strength, her independence, her calmness, and she's completely at peace with that. This is rare, because most people are deeply afraid of being misunderstood. They argue, they explain, they beg to be seen in the right light. But not the Sigma female. She lets people mislabel her. Cold, arrogant, too quiet, too serious. She doesn't flinch because she knows who she is. And she understands something critical. Being misunderstood by the wrong people is not a loss. It's protection. People who are meant to connect with her will get it without long explanations. The rest? They were never meant to have access anyway. This self-assurance is magnetic, and it's threatening. because people can't guilt trip her, confuse her, or bend her into something she's not. She's already rooted in herself. And that kind of internal stability, it's the rarest and most dangerous power a woman can have. Being a Sigma female is not about acting superior. It's not about being cold, distant, or antisocial. It's about being self-defined, unshakable, rooted in truth, not trends. You don't seek permission, you don't chase applause, and you don't fold under pressure. You observe, you learn, you evolve, and in doing so, you become someone that the world can't control. So if you've seen yourself in these 12 traits, know this: you don't need to become dangerous. You already are. All you have to do is stop hiding it. This is the Sigma Lady, and I see you. Until next time, stay sharp, stay silent, and stay true. Sigma Ladies.